This is very important video about errors that cause imbalance in trial balance, basically leads to suspense account. There are quite a few reasons: single entry, written it twice, unequal amount, calculating error, balance transferring error, omission, balance omission, part omission, transposition error, which is kind of changing the figures one-sided again. Yeah, partly omission, partly original entry, part omission, which is this balance omission, part original entry, transposition, similar like that. What is the idea of your suspense account? You know, your trial balance, it doesn't balance. Credit side is 160, debit side 150, 500. So for the time being, forcefully we write 9,500 and make it 160 both side. We balance it. This is called suspense account. Then we look for the errors. There must be some errors. Because of that, your debit side is different than the credit side. So we always open a suspense account because we have a trial balance difference on the debit side. We write it down. We call it balance BA. Then you look for the corrections, errors. Remember, the transaction will be given. There will be one obvious error which you will correct, and the opposite will be suspense. I repeat, one obvious error. The obvious error you will correct, the opposite will be suspense. Let's read it and try to make it more simple. Wages and salary transaction of this month only recording the wages and salary control. That means not in the when they said it, the entry of the wages expense are omitted, not into the wages expenses. The entry basically wages expense debit, wages expense debit, and wages control credit. How about wages control? Wages control is good, no problem. Only recording the wages control, wages and salaries control. So we don't touch it. Where is the problem? Where is the mistake? Wages expense you didn't write, isn't it? So correct it. Opposite would be suspense. Wages expense debit by 4482. Suspense credit. Suspense credit 4482. Suspense account credit. That's it. That's how you make it correct. But they showed you again, just like other video, what was the mistake, what should have been done, how to make it correct. What was the mistake? Wages control credit, but wages expense not debited. That was the mistake. So we have a suspense of that. What should have been done? Wages expense should have been debited and wages control is credited. That should have been done. How to make it correct? They're going through the removal way here. Record the entry or removal way. Record the entry wages expense debit and suspense credit. That's how you've done it. Instead of that, straight away you make the entry which is not done. The entry wages expense entry was omitted, so we put in it wages expense debit, and opposite is suspense credit. That's how you do, people. On to the next bit. Two sides, two debits or two credits. For example, electricity payment 2,500 credited on the both ledger account. Both means electricity account, also bank account. Now electricity is an expense. You cannot credit it. It should have been debit, shouldn't it? Did you do it? No, you write it in here. So you need to get rid of it first. Like, because electricity expense credited, it should be debited. So electricity credit, you need to make it debit to make it correct. How do you do double entry? Electricity debit, suspense credit. It becomes a zero straight. Then again, electricity debit, suspense credit. That's how you got to do twice, basically. Okay. Bank is fine. Bank should have been credited. No problem with the bank because it's so one-sided. That is the problem. So the entry you've done: bank debit, electricity. Bank credit, electricity credit. No good. We have a suspense of 5,000. So entry should have been done: electricity debit, bank credit, but we didn't do it because we have done our electricity credit, erasing and showing you. You know, the electricity you have done on the credit side. Don't you make electricity debit? Yeah, you do. Electricity debit, suspense credit with the 2,500. Remember, electricity debit, suspense credit, credit 2,500. Then you put the entry again, original entry. Yeah, electricity debit and suspense credit. So it happens twice, right? Electricity debit and suspense credit. So ultimately suspense is £5,000. Do remember, this suspense goes into the suspense T account. Debit item, debit side, credit side. This is gonna go in the credit side. Another unequal amount. It says rent payment was correctly posted in the rent account 1100. So rent is fine, 1100 is fine, but incorrectly posted the bank account 1000. The bank account, you need to make it higher by 100. So bank should go down, shouldn't it? Bank credit 100 and suspense debit 100. That should be the answer. I repeat, bank credit 100. Yeah, so bank going down by 100 and suspense debit. Suspense is the opposite. You correct the mistake and opposite entry will be your suspense. But here again, the way they're doing for your further understanding, what was the original entry? Rent debited by 1100, bank credited but credited by 1000. So we still have 100 suspense. So it should be rent debit, bank credit by 1100. But because you've done that one, let's get rid of it. They're gonna get rid of it. Yeah, remove the entry, they said. Okay, remove it. If you debit bank by 1000, it has removed, and you put the correct entry 1100, which is correct. Yeah, absolutely correct, no problem. You got a suspense of 100. Calculation error. Receivables ledger control has not been correctly balanced. It show it 1200 or on the receivables control account instead of 700. It should have been 700, but it shows 1200. So you need to make it down by 500, shouldn't it? So receivables ledger control is a debit balance. You need to make it credit. Receivables ledger control credit 500 and suspense debit 500. Receivables ledger control account has been correctly, my bad, has been correctly balanced. It shows 1200 instead of 700. It shows 1200 or the receivables ledger control instead of 700. So which one is correct? Tell me first. So it shows 1200, yeah, instead of 700 in the control. They did 700 receivables debit, which should be more by 500. So receivables debit 500, suspense credit 500. That is our ultimate answer. But how do you do the entry? Entry should have been receivables debit 1200. Yeah, but we didn't do it. How do you remove it? Remove the incorrect entry, credit 700 and put the 1200, basically 500 up. So receivables debit 500 and suspense credit 500. That's how you do. And balance transfer from ledger to trial balance, sometimes we do mistake. Balance petty cash count was included in the trial with 600. It should have been 550 is right one, shouldn't it? So it should go down. Petty cash usual debit, make it credit. Petty cash credit, suspense debit. Yeah, by 50. Petty cash credit, suspense debit. Can you see it? Yeah, suspense debit. So what did you do? We showed 600, whereas it should have been down by 50, which is a suspense, and the entry should have been 550 debit. So we are removing 600 and putting 550, leading to 50 debit suspense. A balance omission. Another one is balance omission. Receivables balance 350, unintentionally excluded from the trial. You completely forgot to write into the trial balance. So you didn't write in the trial balance 350s or suspense. So put it back. It should have been credited, shouldn't it? Because it's an income. So put it back. So discount credit, suspense debit, 350 suspense. While doing the transposition error, we have one more transposition, then we do the suspense account. Purchase return recorded correctly in the payables ledger account. 402 is correct, do remember. 402 is correct. And payables ledger is also correct. But incorrectly in the purchase return account. Purchase return is a credit account. We have shown it 18 higher. We need to make it 18 down. The purchase return, debit 18, suspense credit 18. Suspense credit 18. That is our ultimate goal. Extra mile they have done for you. Like what did you do? Payables ledger control debit. Fine. Purchase return 420, no good. It should have been 402. So 18 suspense. Yeah, payables ledger control should have been 402, and this is 402. The one is 402 anyway, but there should have been 402 as well, the purchase return. So how do you make it correct? Get rid of a 420, put back 402, and you will have a suspense of 18. Or you can straight away get the difference amount and put it down. When you do the suspense T account, we had a balance, then all the debit of your suspense put on the debit side, all the credit of your suspense balance put on the credit side. Both sides should agree. If it agrees, that means all the errors are correct it. If it is not, still some mistakes. Let's practice more questions in the next videos.